Welcome to today's live IELTS class. My name is Adrian. I'm streaming to you from beautiful Victoria here on the west coast of Canada. It is the capital city of the province of British Columbia on Vancouver Island. Welcome Education Notes. Hi Amal. Welcome Namsum. Nice to see so many students in the class already. Students, this class is going to be focusing on IELTS Speaking Part 1, the first part of the speaking section, the face-to-face interview that you will have with an IELTS examiner. And the topic is about helping people. So part 1 of the IELTS speaking, it takes about 5 minutes. The whole speaking interview takes about 12 minutes. Part 1 includes the introduction where you meet your examiner. And after a brief introduction, the examiner will ask you some questions on a general topic. Now that general topic can be a million different kinds of general topics. When I did my exam, it was about math and whether or not I like math and who taught me math. It could be about your hobbies, it could be about songs, about using computers and the like. Welcome Carolina, our chat moderator. Good to see Arda and Amra, our members in the class. Nice to see Amrit as well. Students, this lesson is presented to you by aehelp.com. For academic IELTS, please check us out there. For the general IELTS, visit us at gieltshelp.com. On both of our websites, we've got lots and lots of content to help you improve your English, your communication, and get high scores on your next IELTS exam. We will actually use the website today to interact with each other, where I will be calling some of our viewers and we will be practicing these IELTS speaking part 1 questions together. So to join our premium IELTS package, simply click this red button that's just above my head here. It's a one-time payment for lifetime access, and we are an official British Council test registration center for IELTS and certified agents. So you're in great hands with us. Click that button. Again, it's a one-time payment for lifetime access. And when you register here, you can use a discount code for today. The special discount code we've created for this class is HELP20 because we're helping you pass your IELTS exam, and the topic of today's speaking part 1 is about helping people. So use that code HELP20, and it's the same idea for the general IELTS. It's the green background here, and again just click that red button to join our premium IELTS package, and you're on your way to getting access to our computer-based practice exams, interactive course, lesson videos, and much more. So check that out. That's at gieltshelp.com and aehelp.com. And when you sign up, make sure to also get our apps. The apps will link to the website, so you can use the apps for learning on the go. Academic IELTS help for academic IELTS, general IELTS help for general IELTS. So check out those apps. Follow us on Instagram for our schedules. Definitely subscribe to this YouTube channel. Click that bell button to get notifications of all of our live classes. And if you have questions about IELTS, about English, about immigration, about going to school in another country, we can probably help answer those questions. Just send me an email, adrian@aehelp.com. That's my email address there. So send me an email and we will help you out in short notice. So no question shall be left unanswered. Today's topic, DP, is helping people. So we've got a full week of classes coming up. We've got speaking part 1 right now, and then tomorrow we will have some reading for members, and we'll have listening parts 3 and 4 tomorrow. For subscribers, we're going to finish that listening exam that we started last week. And then we'll have some task 2 writing for members and speaking part 3 for everyone on Saturday. So again, subscribe to the channel. Make sure you get these notifications. We released a really great speaking video about a week ago. That speaking video is quite new still, and it's by a candidate from Madhya Pradesh, India. So check that out. That video link, when you want to check it out a little bit later on, is this right here. And if you haven't registered for our special speaking classes, these are absolutely free. They will be on Lighthall. You will get to practice your speaking even more. That will be coming up June 19th and June 26th. Those are both Sundays. Then definitely join those speaking classes for free on Lighthall. Lighthall is a really cool new platform for live learning, live teaching. I imagine they're going to be one of the biggest platforms out there in the future. They're doing some really great strategies for live teaching, like real-time interaction, no lag. And you can speak with classmates and with teachers in those live classes. So we're very happy to work with them. Check out those links. I just put the links into the chat. Okay, so IELTS speaking part 1. Without further ado, let's get into it. IELTS speaking part 1. Again, it's the first part of the speaking. Start strong, okay? Strong start in IELTS is very, very important for high band scores. IELTS is a race against the clock. You have a certain amount of time. The speaking is no different. You have about 12, maximum 15, but usually it's about closer to 12 minutes. So you have 12 minutes to prove your English proficiency. This means showing your maximum ability to use English to communicate effectively. That's what you have to do, okay? And you have to communicate effectively, all right? It's not just about using English. We've seen a lot of students where the student is fluent, they have good pronunciation, but it's difficult to understand what they are saying and they're speaking off topic. So they're still getting very low band scores, like band 5, band 6. So you need to communicate effectively, okay? To communicate effectively, you do not have to speak quickly, all right? So I'm going to give you some tips at the beginning here, and I want you to focus on these as we work through these questions in the class, okay? So to communicate effectively and coherently, coherence is the most important part of IELTS speaking part 1. Coherence will trump vocabulary, will trump fluency, will trump grammatical range and accuracy, and will definitely trump pronunciation as long as the examiner understands what you're saying. So coherency is the most important part of your IELTS speaking criteria. That's what the examiner is paying attention to the most, okay, is being able to understand you. So to communicate effectively and coherently, you do not need to speak super fast. Okay? You do not need to use very complicated vocabulary or idioms. All right. You do not need perfect pronunciation. Okay. Let me try to do this a little bit differently. You do need to answer the question accurately. Okay. You do need to give clear explanations and examples to support your answers. Okay. You do need to have clear grammar. Okay. You can use simple vocabulary, but if you make a lot of grammatical mistakes, whether you're using simple vocabulary or complex vocabulary, your speech becomes incoherent. Grammar is a very important part of coherence, so you do need to have clear grammar, okay? So those are important steps. All right, well, you're saying, okay, Jen, that's fine. I kind of had an idea about this. I kind of knew this already. But, you know, can we see some examples? Can you show me how to do this, right? So I'm telling you, I'm giving you the answer, the explanation, but now you're saying, hey, I will understand this more if you give me some examples, right? Amrit, welcome back to our group of members, okay? All right. So, Erkin, giving really short answers often will not help, okay? So giving short answers Erkin's asking, what if I give short answers? Okay, well, if you think critically about it, Erkin, giving short answers is often incoherent. Okay, for example, if the examiner asks you, where do you live? And I answer, I live in Canada. This is an incoherent answer because Canada is a huge country. I basically just told the examiner that I live anywhere on this massive piece of land. And it really doesn't give a lot of information. It's vague, okay? I live in Canada. This is incoherent because it is vague, meaning it is difficult for the listener to imagine where I actually live in this massive country called Canada. Okay, so you do need to give details and you do need to be specific. You don't overspeak, you don't go off topic, but details are very important. So you do need to give details without going off topic to get into the band 7 to 9 range. Okay, and you need to sound original as well. All right, so let's do this. Let's kick today off with a lot of speaking and speaking practice and feedback. So you go to your IELTS exam, you go there nice and early, even an hour early, so that you can find other candidates to practice with and talk to them and warm up your English, get your fluency going, get your brain going in English. And then 20 minutes before your speaking interview, you have to register. Now, many of you are going to be doing your IELTS speaking via the computer as well. It's becoming more and more popular, but you should still take the same steps. So you should still warm up before your interview. You should still talk to a person in English before you sit down for your computer-based face-to-face interview as well. Okay, so same logic, same kinds of steps. And then you meet with an examiner. The examiner will be a woman or a man, somewhat like me. They could be a native English speaker from the US, from the UK, from Australia, from New Zealand. They could be a non-native English speaker, just with very good English, from just about any part of the world. So be ready for different kinds of accents, different types of diction, okay? And then they will ask you this question at the very beginning as they introduce the IELTS exam. They'll say, welcome to the speaking section of the IELTS exam. My name is Adrian. I will be your examiner for this part of the test. It has 3 parts. I'm recording it for clerical purposes. We are currently conducting this exam in Toronto. The time right now is 10 a.m. We are at the British Council Test Centre, and this is candidate number 98724985 and examiner number 7391. Let's begin. May I see your identification? So be ready for this question. They will definitely ask you this question. They have to check your identification, and then give a nice, fluent, natural, comfortable, confident answer to this question. And not just a short answer like yes here, okay? Already start fluent. So yes, absolutely. Here is my passport with my credentials. Please take a look. Okay, now we're practicing speaking here, students. So speak and repeat. Okay, so copy what I say, copy how I say it, copy my intonation, copy my pronunciation. Okay, speak and repeat. So, may I see your identification? Yes, absolutely. Here's my passport with my credentials. Please take a look. I can't hear you yet, but I will soon, because I will be taking volunteers very shortly and asking you these questions, okay? All right, Umra, our member, has a lovely answer this morning for this question as well. Umra says, yes, of course. Here's my passport that I used to register for this exam a couple of weeks ago. Please take a look. Okay, Umra, very nice. Now again, practice different ways, okay? So you want to practice 3, 4, 5 different ways to respond to this question so that you can sound natural and original. You do not want to sound like you've been memorizing answers and templates. That will hurt your score, okay? IELTS examiners do not like to hear memorized answers. They want to hear you. They want to hear your thoughts. Here is a response from Arda, another one of our members. Arda says, yes, definitely. Here is my passport that I used to register for this exam. Please have a look at my credentials. So kind of the same information, but said differently. And when you speak and say these sentences nice and smoothly, nice and fluently, the examiner will not interrupt you, okay? You just have to say them fluently. You can't get stuck on introductory questions. Technically, they're not scoring you, but in reality, they are scoring you on these questions, okay? So, of course, they're assessing your speaking from the very first words that come from your mouth. So you have to make sure that you have a strong start, okay? IELTS is just like a race, a running race or a track race. Those that have a strong start are much more likely to succeed and get high scores. If you trip at the starting line, it's difficult to get that maximum score, okay? All right. Rashika, our longtime member, says, yes, here's my passport that I used to register for this exam a couple of weeks ago. Please have a look. Yeah, please take a look. Please have a look. Both are fine. And then the next question that you will get asked, probably while you're still holding your passport, is what is your full name? Now, if you're doing your computer-based exam, it might be a little bit different, but they generally still go through these same questions, okay? So the next question is, what is your full name? Again, introducing yourself. You have to be calm. You have to be confident, okay? So you can say something like, my full name is Michael Timothy McLeod. Please just call me Mike. Okay. Now, when you're introducing yourself, what I want you to do, okay, and it's another kind of a tip or a trick to do well in your IELTS speaking. When you introduce yourself, be proud of yourself. Be proud of who you are. Introduce yourself with confidence. Use this question to build energy, focus, and bravery. Okay? This is an important life skill. Okay? So I haven't talked about this in past classes, but this is a very important skill in life. When you are in a situation where you introduce yourself, whether it's a presentation in front of a committee or in front of a group of businessmen, businesswomen, or your classmates, or whether you're introducing yourself at a new social gathering or at the IELTS exam, when you tell people your name, when you tell people who you are, what you want to be called, then do that with confidence. I am Adrian, call me Adrian, okay? So do it with confidence, because that puts your mental state into a type of attitude that carries forward, that goes with you through that conversation, through those interactions. And if you do it in a kind of a shy way, like, oh, my name is Adrian, and I'm not telling you this right now, but I'm super nervous, then that carries forward with you as well, okay? So the way you introduce yourself sets a foundation for your attitude, for your confidence. So practice introducing yourself to others confidently always, okay? That will have a major positive impact on your life, all right? Everybody got that, okay? So with confidence, with fortitude, my whole name is Michael Timothy McLeod. Please just call me Michael, okay? Polite, but confident, okay? So polite, but confident. Set the stage for victory. Okay, one really good way to think about that, right? One very good example of this in society is when boxers are getting ready for their boxing match, right? They have all those press meetings and they talk about themselves, and they almost beat each other up before the boxing match when they see each other, because they're really pumping up their confidence to win. So think about how much a professional boxer builds confidence before a fight, right? There's a reason for that. So, you know, professionals, experts, successful people are very good at this. They're very good at building confidence before they go into their test situation. Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah, pronounce your name the way that your name should be pronounced. I see those questions there, Carolina. Somebody's asking, like, how should I pronounce my name? Pronounce it the way it is pronounced normally for you, okay? That is your name. All right? So again, repeat after me. What is your full name? My whole name is Michael Timothy McLeod. Please just call me Mike. Confident. Okay, you don't need to shout it, but if it helps, it's still better than mumbling and being quiet. Okay. All right, and then they will ask you a couple of general questions. All right, so let's go to this question here. They'll say, okay, Michael, or okay, Mike, I will now ask you a couple of questions to get to know you better and some questions on a general topic. What did you do this morning? Notice the did, right? So it's past tense. They're listening for past tense. Different questions in the IELTS speaking are kind of fishing for different types of grammar. Usually the first few questions are fishing for simple types of grammar like simple past or present progressive, something like that. So make sure to pay attention to the grammar and make sure you answer it accurately. If you answer like this morning I go to the coffee shop and I drink coffee. This is already showing the examiner that you're about a band 5, okay? Because it's wrong grammar. And as I said, grammar is very important for coherence, okay? So you have to pay attention and make sure that you realize this is a past situation and you have to use correct past tense of the verbs. They're listening for that. So this morning I went to the coffee shop and I drank a coffee. Okay, this now is a band 6 answer. It's accurate, but vague. Okay. All right, let's kick it up a notch. So this morning, I went to the coffee shop and I drank a coffee to help me get focused for the day. Now we've got an explanation. So now we're at a band 7 answer. It has an explanation. Okay. Let's kick it up even a little bit more. This morning, I went to the coffee shop and I drank a cup of joe at 7:30 to give me a boost for the day. Okay, so here now we have a band 8 to 9, depending on smaller details like pronunciation and fluency, because you have explanation and paraphrasing of words. And you have quantification, okay? So coffee shop, we have the word coffee. I paraphrase that with a cup of joe. A cup of joe means coffee, and I have quantification, 7:30. So I've got more detail and I've got a little bit more natural language, a boost for the day as well. So it's those elements that are now pushing my score to that band 8, band 9 level, okay? So that's kind of the way you have to think about it, Okay, so band 5, this morning I go to the coffee shop and I drink a coffee. This morning I went to the coffee shop and I drank a coffee. This morning I went to the coffee shop and I drank a coffee to help me get focused for the day. This morning I went to the coffee shop and I drank a cup of joe at 7:30 to give me a boost for the day. Okay, so those are kind of the differences. Now, it's not just that way. There are many different ways to do it, and your Band 8, Band 9 isn't based on just one question and answer, but that's the basic idea. Okay, so hopefully everybody has that basic idea now. Okay, so difference between a band 5, 6, 7, 8. Is that clear? Does everybody kind of get the idea of what is required to get those higher and higher band scores? Yes? All right, now I see some similar higher band answers coming up. This is by Ailethui. Okay. Let's see what we have here. Okay, Aile says, this morning I went to my primary school for my English class from 7:30 to 9:30. Then I went back home for my online class with my 9-year-old boy for math class. All right, that's pretty good. I'm not sure where the 9-year-old boy comes into this picture. Is it the 9-year-old boy's math class, or is it that you had to pick up your 9-year-old child before going to your math class? So careful with clarity, okay? Don't put in information that leads to confusion, okay? All right. Arda says, I did some exercises this morning to relieve my stress about this IELTS exam. It took me about 30 minutes. After that, I was feeling relaxed and confident. Okay, that's pretty good, Arda. That'd be a band 8 to 9, so I have clarity there, and I have a good explanation there. Absolutely. Okay, so here we have our next question. What do you plan to do on the weekend? What is the grammar here? What kind of grammar is this question fishing for? So when the question says, what do you, or when the examiner says, to be more precise, what do you plan to do on the weekend? What kind of grammar do you think this is looking for? Very good, critique. So critique says future tense. Yeah. Now English doesn't technically have a future tense, so future participle. Yeah. And what does English use to discuss the future? So very good. So a lot of you got that. A lot of you are like, okay, that's about the future. So what does English use to talk about the future? If I want to discuss the future, yeah, very nice. So John Williams says, will going to, shall, and gonna. Okay. Now, a lot of people are like, well, my teacher said if I use gonna, it's going to lower my score. Not necessarily, okay? The best is to use a combination. Okay, so to use a combination of these strategies. Now, the most common and technically most accurate way to discuss the future is using will. Okay, so will is technically the most accurate form of indicating the future. Then it's going to. Once you have used both of those, then you can use the more slang style or old style form of referring to the future, which is gonna and shall respectively. Okay, so keep that in mind. Okay, let me rephrase that again. So will is the most accurate. It's kind of strange to say that, but it's the most accurate, okay? Going to is the most common paraphrase. Gonna is slang. And shall is old school. Okay, so once you have used will and going to, it's okay to use shall and gonna. Okay, show that full range of your command of the English language. Okay. All right, so again, here is the question again, what do you plan to do on the weekend? Let me show you how I will answer this for that high band score using a combination. On Saturday, I will write an essay for my psychology class. Then on Sunday, I'm going to hang out with my friends at the park, and we're gonna have some fun playing football. Hopefully, I shall score a couple goals to motivate me for the upcoming school week. Okay, so this is maybe a bit extreme, but I'm showing you how you can incorporate all of those different elements of will, going to, gonna, and shall. Practice all of these. They have all become a part of English, absolutely, and you can hear all of these in use. Will and going to you will hear more often than gonna and shall, but gonna you're going to hear a lot, especially if you are in the United States or in Canada. Okay. All right, Anahita says this. Let's see how Anahita did. Okay. Anahita says, I plan to go to my English class on Saturday morning. Moreover, I will translate one of my optimal and charismatic teacher's inspirational speeches to English. I also commenced translating a book. Okay, so this is where you have a grammar mistake. So I am also going to commence translating a book. Why? Where's your explanation here? As part of my class assignment. Okay, so there's a couple mistakes there that you need to pay attention to, Anahita. Grammatical mistake about the future. That's exactly what it's looking for. So you have to be careful with that. Okay, all right. So this going to is very, very important. All right. Okay, let's take one more. Akira. Let's see what Akira says. Akira says, I'm kind of a busy person, and I don't have much leisure time. However, on this weekend, it'll be my sister's birthday. I hate to buy a gift. We are going to celebrate it with my relatives in the restaurant. Okay, here's a very important tip, everybody. So Akira is doing something interesting here. Akira is contracting the words here. So Akira is contracting the it will to it'll. Now, it'll is a pretty tricky pronunciation, as you can hear me say it. It'll. Okay, so here's an important tip. All right. Do not contract your grammar when you're showing grammar to the examiner. So tip, this is an important tip strategy. Pay attention to this. Do not contract your grammar when you are showcasing your knowledge to the examiner in the beginning, because you want the examiner to clearly hear your attention and use to or of the grammar. Okay, so say it will, not it'll. Then later you can, okay, once you have made this clear, then you can start contracting. Just make sure you're pronouncing it. Otherwise, it will sound like a mistake. If you're not sure, like if people are like, oh, did you just say will or it'll, or did you say it'll? If you're not sure, check with other people. Make sure that they hear your contractions clearly, okay? That's very, very important. Everybody got that? Okay, so everybody understand that clearly. Your grammar should not be contracted when you are first showing your grammar to the examiner. So when you're showing your future tense or your future participle use, very clearly say, I will go to my English class on Saturday. I am going to. Okay, that's why I didn't say I'm gonna in the beginning. I said I'm going to. Okay, gonna is somewhat of a contraction, and wanna a contraction of going to and want to. Okay. Contract, shokruk, means to pull the two words together in English. Like instead of saying they have, you say they've. Okay. All right. So careful with that. All right. Okay, great. So everybody, we're getting into part one now. Let's talk about helping people. So we're getting past these warm-up questions. And we are going to practice this. Again, remember on our websites, when you sign up for our premium package, use the code HELP20 to get that 20% discount. And right now, I'm going to take some volunteers for speaking, and we're going to practice speaking together as a group. I will talk to one person, ask a question, give feedback, give a score estimate, and then everybody should practice at the same time, and then we'll take more and more people. So in order to do this, you want to register a free account at aehelp.com. Okay. And then you go to your My Student account and you click on Student Partner Speaking. Let me show you what I mean by this. So this is gieltshelp.com. You can do it here as well by clicking the big red button, or you can go to aehelp.com and you can click this big red button to join our premium IELTS package, or you can click this green button just below to try it for free. Once you've done that, you go to your My Student account, which is right at the very top there. Okay, usually when you register the first time, it'll log you in as well. Okay, when you're in your My Student account, just end the tour. You can go through the tour later. You'll see there are computer-based practice exams, full interactive course. It works on your mobile as well. There's 6 full practice exams with all the audio CDs, lesson videos, over 100 hours of those. And then off to the right here, you have the student partner speaking. Okay, and if you like this speaking that you're seeing today and the speaking practice that we're doing in just a moment, then you can also click on this yellow speaking interview practice button to book a speaking session with me. Okay, and we click on that student partner speaking. I accept and start speaking. It means that you will accept that you are responsible for your communication. Do not share personal information like your telephone number or your address with people in the chat. Okay, be smart. And then you get into this speaking interface. It's kind of like Skype, WhatsApp, Zoom, that sort of idea. Again, you can book a speaking practice with that yellow button at any time. Of course, that is a paid service. This is a free service. And then you will be in this page here where you will see lots of other viewers and students. We've got at least 20 people in here right now. And you'll see people volunteering. So you will see me as Master. Okay, Master. That will be my handle. It's easy to see. Send me a message with the blue envelope, okay? And you can see lots of people here already sending messages. I can see those little orange numbers. Those are the messages that they're sending. And then we can start discussing. So I'll reach out to a student. Let's begin with Yash today. Test the system with some other students, okay? The best way to make sure that it works on your phone or your laptop or your PC or Mac or whatever you're using is to try it with another person, all right? So let's reach out to Yash. All right, Yash, are you ready? I will always message you first just to make sure that we have a connection and that you are there. You didn't run away to get that cup of coffee to get yourself that boost or to get a sandwich or something like that. Okay. All right, Yash, here we go. Let's try to connect. Okay, Yash, I hear that you picked up the phone or you picked up the line, but I can't hear your voice. So test it with another person first and then we'll try again. Okay, the system's been working quite smoothly, so no, you're not audible, Yash. So I'm going to try somebody else. Maybe check your settings for your microphone. Check your internet settings to make sure that you've enabled the audio. Okay, but I don't hear you. I'm going to try somebody else. Let's try Arda. I know that Arda and I are usually able to connect, so that will give me an idea of what's going on this morning. Okay. Hi, Arda. Are you ready? Okay.
Hello, sir.
Hi, Arda. How are you?
I'm good. I'm doing well. How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. Thank you for asking. I'm full of energy, healthy. Arda, can you remind all of our viewers where you are right now on our big, beautiful blue planet?
I live in Turkey.
In Turkey, and remember coherence, right? Whereabouts in Turkey?
In Istanbul.
And Istanbul, what is Istanbul famous for?
The buildings, I could say, and the tourists. There are a lot of historical places here, and the tourists just come here to visit them.
One place I always hear about when I hear about Istanbul is the market in Istanbul.
Market.
Yeah, I hear there's like a big market in Istanbul that gets really wild and crazy where people are selling all kinds of, like, it's like a bazaar.
Oh yeah, there are a lot of bazaars here. Yeah.
Yeah, the Istanbul Bazaar, I've heard, is quite the wild place to go and visit.
Yeah.
So, all right, Arda, and why are you taking the IELTS exam?
I am taking the IELTS exam to study abroad, especially in Europe, I guess.
All right. Now, Arda, I have spoken to you on numerous occasions, and I know you have just lovely, lovely English. You have nice British-style pronunciation. And so one quick tip right away is be affirmative. So practice affirmative communication when you're speaking, okay? So for you to improve your English, what you want to focus on is to use confident affirmative language. So instead of giving an answer like, I'm planning to maybe study in Europe, I guess, you want to be affirmative, like, I will go to Europe within the next year and I will be studying my graduate master's in engineering and so it's I will, I can, I do, I must, okay, instead of maybe, could be. All right, it's very important. There's a reason for that. So it's not just me being pushy and being like, oh, you can't, you got to be like, it's not, that's not why. It's also coherence. Okay, confidence and affirmative communication makes language more comprehensible for your audience. Okay, people want to believe. People want to believe. All right. Okay, so let's do this. So I'm going to start you off right from the beginning. Welcome to the speaking section of the IELTS exam. My name is Adrian. I will be your examiner. May I see your identification?
Yes, gladly. Here's my passport that I used to register for this exam. Please have a look at my credentials.
What is your full name?
My name is Arda and my surname is Gürbüz. Please just call me Arda.
Okay, Arda. For part one, I will ask you a couple of questions to get to know you better and some questions on a general topic. What did you do this morning?
I did some exercises to relieve my stress about this IELTS exam. It took me about 30 minutes. After that, I was feeling relaxed and confident.
And what do you plan to do on the weekend?
I'm planning to go on a date with my girlfriend on Saturday. We will probably go to a restaurant and enjoy our food. And on Sunday, I might play football with my friends. I will play football with my friends.
Let's talk about helping people. How often do you get help from others?
I usually get help from others, especially with my studies. When I'm having some understanding issues about a topic, I ask for help from my teachers.
What do you usually need help with?
I frequently need help with physics. It's kind of hard for me to solve physics questions, so I seek help from my teachers. If I don't see any teachers around, I ask my friend for help, who is good at physics.
When is it important to ask for help?
It's necessary to seek help from others when I can't handle something on my own. To be more specific, carrying heavy objects or trying to do some tests.
Have you helped someone recently?
Yes, I have helped my best friend 3 weeks ago on his exam week. He asked for help from me with biology. I taught him how our brains work. He thanked me after exam and told me about his great exam results.
If you need assistance during work or school, who do you ask for help?
If I need help with something at school, I usually ask my best friend for help. He's hardworking and clever, so his critical thinking solves my problem most of the time. I remember his huge help before my physics exam. He was the reason I got a good score in my last term physics exam.
That is the end of part 1. Now we will continue with part 2. For part 2, I will show you some questions on a card. You will have 1 minute to look at these questions, think about your answers. You can take notes in that 1 minute if you wish, and then you will have 1 to 2 minutes to respond. I will tell you when to start, when to stop. Okay, that was really good, Arda. So smooth, good. All right. I would say band 8.5, maybe some examiners 9, definitely an easy 8. Very good. There are a couple of steps that you could have done to make it a band 9, and I think you can get a band 9, Arda. I think you're definitely pushing that perfect score boundary, okay? It's very difficult to tell that you are not a born native speaker of English. You've come really, really far, and that's awesome. Let me give you a little bit of feedback, okay? So everybody who's watching, Arda's helping us here with a really good example of what speaking part 1 is like, how it works at the higher band score levels. And for those of you out there who are really going for that ultimate band 9 score, let me give you a little bit of feedback on what Arda did very well here and what you need to do and what that little difference is to get that band 9, okay? So Arda, very nice introduction. Okay, so your introduction was all you. It was original. It was smooth. The best part of your introduction, outside of the fluency, grammar, accuracy, was definitely your confidence. So you really realized that, yeah, okay, I got to be confident here when I start this off. Like, I deserve to be here. I've practiced English a lot. I'm confident in who I am and what I say, and that came through in your tone, in your enunciation. You very directly answered the questions and allowed me as the examiner to do my job very professionally. So question, answer, clear, fluent, next question. And it was like you and I were doing the tango, just this really nice dance of communication. Okay. So then I asked you, what did you do this morning? You talked about exercise. That was a good one. Okay. And then I asked you, what do you plan to do on the weekend? These were the questions that we spent a bit of time with at the beginning of this class.
Yeah.
All right. Now that question, what do you plan to do on the weekend? We discussed it's about will and shall going to, right? And you said, I am planning to go on a date, which was fine. And then you said, I think you said at first, I might play football with my friends. And then you realized
then I changed it.
Yeah, then you realized, oh, wait a second. Adrian just told me not to do that.
Yes.
So you changed it, right? Very clever.
Yeah, I did.
Okay, so that was very clever. So then you're like, oh, I will play football.
I will.
Yeah, affirmative language, right? I will, I can, I must, okay? So that was a good correction, all right? That's what you want to do. It doesn't matter if you actually go or not. Just show that that's what you will do. Okay.
I'm just making it up.
Yeah, and in the real world too, a big key to success is believing in your plans. Even if they fail, you still have to believe in them. Until the last moment, right? So if you don't believe in what you will do, then there's a much better chance that you will not do it, right? So saying will and can was very important here. Okay, and then so that was good. And then I asked you, how often do you get help from others? Okay, and then you said, I usually get help from others, especially with my studies. So you use the word usually, which kind of means like often or frequently, somewhat similar, almost as much. To make this a band 9, you want to quantify. Okay, quantification does become quite important for that expert user, because expert communication arguably is quantifiable. Okay?
Like giving numbers.
Yeah, giving numbers or giving measurements. So when you say on Saturday, I will do this, on Sunday, I will do that, that's quantification as well, because we know what Sunday is. We have an agreed measure of that day, right? So so I usually get help from others at least 5 to 10 times a day, especially with my studies. So just throwing in that little bit of numbering pushes your score much closer to that band 9, or guarantees you that band 9
I agree.
much more. Okay. And now for all of the students who are watching this, it doesn't mean you have to speak like Arda. I mean, it doesn't mean you have to be as fluent as Arda or have the same vocabulary, but by adding numbers, even a band 5 can become a band 6, or a band 6 can become a band 7, because numbers will add that extra level of coherence. Okay. Now, Arda, what's the other little tip or strategy that
Example.
yeah, and the more specific, the more measurable your example, the better it is. And I think you kind of realize that near the end of part 1. You're like, oh, was I giving examples? You should have had 2 or 3 more examples in your responses, especially with your level of fluency. And then you have absolute clarity. So you said I usually get help from others at least, let's correct this, at least 5 to 10 times a day, especially with my studies. I asked help from my
best friend when I was doing my physics test.
Okay, and that's kind of an example, but it's still more of an explanation in some sense, because it's still not specific. So when you're practicing those really good examples, you want to be specific. So I asked for help from my best friend when I was doing my physics test, again, quantifiable, last Tuesday. Okay. What's a concept in physics? What's a specific concept in physics? Any concept?
The rules, like the rules in physics.
Can you give me one? Any one of them that you might know off the top of your head?
Gravity.
Yeah, sure, right? One of the common ones. So I asked for help from my best friend when I was doing my physics test last Tuesday on the principles of gravity. Okay, that will give you that band 9. All right. So let's just repeat this question, this response, copy it once I'm done, and then everybody will have a perfect idea of what a band 9 sounds like. Okay. So how often do you get help from others? I usually get help from others at least 5 to 10 times a day, especially with my studies. I asked for help from my best friend when I was doing my physics test last Tuesday on the principles of gravity. How often do you get help from others?
I frequently get help from others at least 5 times a day, especially with my studies. I asked for help from my best friend when I was doing my physics test last Sunday on the principles of gravity.
Okay. Probably not doing physics tests on weekends, but sure. You said Sunday, I said Tuesday.
Yes.
Now, if we want to make this more specific, I mean, we do want to make it believable. We want to connect it to our explanation. So I asked for help from at least 5 people when I was doing my physics test last Tuesday. So that shows more the frequency, right? Because here we're asking about the frequency of so the more coherence, the higher the band score. Yeah. Okay, Arda, thank you so much for showcasing that level of English and that level of the IELTS exam. I appreciate you volunteering.
Thank you for the feedback also.
You're very welcome. And keep in mind, affirmative language. Okay, affirmative language. All right.
I will keep in mind.
Okay, bye, Arda. Have a nice day.
See you.
All right, that was Arda. Thumbs up. That was really good. Let's take somebody else. Okay. Let's take somebody kind of from the middle here. We've got Sabrina. Okay, let's see if we can reach out to Sabrina. Sabrina says, hi, can I volunteer? Absolutely, Sabrina. Are you ready? Okay, let's try to connect with Sabrina for some questions. Sabrina says yes. All right. Hi, Sabrina.
Hi, can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear, Sabrina. Where are you calling right now? So where are you in the world right now?
I'm from Italy.
From Italy. Okay,
Yeah.
so we're moving towards the west from Turkey
Yes.
to Italy. And what part of Italy?
I'm on the north, precisely in Liguria. Do you know Liguria?
Liguria? No, I'm not familiar with that. I've been to Rome, I've been to
Yeah.
Venice, but I have not been, I think, in that region.
Yes, near the sea.
It's near this, is it, so it's
Yeah.
near the Adriatic?
Yes.
Okay, all right. So it's kind of near Venice then?
Yes, under, a little bit under Venice.
A little bit south of Venice.
South, yes.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Sounds good. Sabrina, why are you taking IELTS?
Because I want to go to a university in Padua, so I need an IELTS exam.
In Peru?
No, Padua,
Padua?
in Italy, still in Italy. Yes, but
Still in
is
Italy.
yes, but is it is a master degree totally in English, so it's mandatory.
To
an
have,
IELTS
yeah,
yes, to
mandatory
have
to
an
have an English proficiency
yes.
score. Yes. Okay, that's very common in the world today, by the way. A lot of universities, especially universities that are internationally recognized, demand English scores because English is the global language now, and science research is presented to the global community in English. So so it's very, very common. Okay, well, I will help you with this mission, Sabrina.
Thank you.
So let's go through these part one questions, okay?
Yes,
Here we go. From the top, may I see your identification?
absolutely. Here's my identity card that I used to register for this exam. Please have a look.
What is your full name?
My first name is Sabrina and my last name is Ancona. Please call me with my first name, Sabrina.
Okay. Sabrina, for part one, I will ask you a couple of questions to get to know you better and some questions on a general topic.
Yes.
What did you do this morning?
After waking up, I washed my face and then I had breakfast. And then I picked my car and went to this exam center with my mother.
What do you plan to do on the weekend?
I will go to Padua with my closest friend Federica due to there will be a Cremonini's concert. Cremonini is one of my favorite Italian singer actually, and so I am looking forward to go.
Let's talk about helping people. How often do you get help from others?
Well, honestly, not very often, but when I have to make important decision, I ask my parents and my boyfriend for support. For example, last week I talked to my dad about an important decision regarding university.
Have you helped someone recently? If yes, how?
Yes, I helped one of my closest friends, Alicia, because she need an emotional support because she's in a trouble situation with his boyfriend, and so she needed some advices and support in general.
If you need assistance during work or school, who do you ask for help?
I think that if I need some help, I would ask to my teacher and to my classmates. and also if I have the possibility, maybe to some tutors.
Okay, good, nice English. All right,
Thank you.
good news. I'm pretty sure you have the English necessary for your master's degree. Master's degrees usually have a cutoff score of 775, usually. I'm guessing yours is about 775. Is that a good guess?
Yes.
Okay, you'll get that. So your speaking is definitely a 7. I think that most examiners would actually score you a 7.5
Okay.
based on those questions. Okay. I can give you definitely a couple of tips on how to guarantee yourself the 7.5 and
Yes,
maybe
thank
even
you.
an 8. I do think that with, like if the IELTS speaking section were a 30-minute exam, we really had a chance to just speak, you could probably even get an 8 because your English is quite good. It's definitely at that good to very good level. Let me give you a few tips on making sure that you get at least that 7.5, okay? So the introduction was good. You have good confidence, okay? So I think Italian people in general tend to be quite confident culturally as people, which is a good thing. Introduction was good. I said, can I see your identification? You said, here's my identification card. I really liked how you used the full word identification card and you enunciated that. You didn't just say, here's my ID. So you said, here's my identification card, which is fine. And then I asked you, what's your full name? You gave me a very nice, clear, confident answer there. Told me what you want to be called. And then I asked you, what did you do this morning? You said, after waking up, I washed my face. Then I had breakfast. And you had several like ahs or ums in your speech, which are natural fillers. They were natural. So to me, they sounded like natural fillers in English. Okay, they didn't sound Italian to me. They didn't sound Japanese to me. They sounded English to me. And I could tell that you were focusing on what you want to say much more than how you want to say it. So it wasn't about, the vocabulary or the grammar. And so that's totally okay. It is totally, absolutely 100% okay. It does not affect your score, all right? People speak like that. You can get a band 9 with natural fillers, all right? There's a lot of bad information out there going around saying that, oh, you're going to get, a bad score if you use natural fillers. It's not true at all, all right? It's better to use them and say accurate sentences. You said, then I picked my car.
Catch, maybe.
No, careful with your phrasal verbs and your idioms.
Okay.
So I noticed that when you're using certain phrasal verbs and expressions, expressive style language in English, you're making some slight mistakes that make it a little bit awkward or unnatural. Then I picked up my car. Did you get your car from somewhere? Like if you go somewhere and you get your car, then you say, I picked up my car.
Okay.
Right? Like I picked up my car from school, or I picked up my car from the mechanic, right?
Yes, sure.
If you didn't pick it up from anywhere, then you took your car. Then I took my car would be the expression. But if you want to be 100% sure, then I drove my car. Okay, if you're driving it, right? So then just be clear, all right? So careful with that. That can be confusing when you make a mistake with a phrasal verb or an idiom, especially. Okay. Idioms are not necessary for band 758. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Let's see. Where do I have your next piece of writing here? Okay, so then I said, okay, how often do you get help from others? And you said, well, honestly, not very often. Okay, I usually tell people not to use the words honestly because we're always speaking honestly, especially during an IELTS exam. Why would we lie? And if we're lying, why do we need to say honestly? So you don't really need to use that, but fine. Okay, it's a leading expression. No worries if you use it once or twice. It's not the end of the world. So you said, well, honestly, not very often, but when I have to make an important decision, I still don't know how often. So you said not very often. So what is not very often for you?
Okay. maybe I ask some help once a month. It depends on when.
Good. Once a month. Doesn't have to be the truth. Doesn't have to be.
Yes.
It's the IELTS.
Once a month. Okay.
Doesn't have to be the truth. Okay. So
Yes.
just be confident in what you're saying, and it does not have to be the truth. Not on IELTS. Okay. So well, honestly,
Okay.
not very often. Like once a month. Okay. So
Yes.
just confidently put a period on it. But when I have to make an important decision, I do ask my parents or friends
Yes.
for their input. Let's put a nice piece of natural language in there. So for their input meaning their advice in this case. And then
Okay.
you said, for example, and you eventually said university, right?
Yeah.
Try to avoid saying, for example. The examiners get scared when they hear
Okay.
it. It's just because very often when a candidate starts to say, for example, or for instance, it's the beginning of a very long speech. And the examiners, they're kind of like, oh, now I have to interrupt them because I have to get to the next question. We even have a video on this on the channel that says, don't say, for example. Good examples, you just say them. You don't need to say, for example. So you say, nowadays, I'm deciding where to do my master's. So I had a 1 hour talk with my dad, and he helped me make my decision.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. So let's practice this response. I'm just going to say it. You copy it after me. Okay. Sound good?
Yes.
All right. So how often do you get help from others? Well, honestly, not very often, like once a month. But when I have to make an important decision, I do ask my parents or friends for their input. Nowadays, I'm deciding where to do my master's. So I had a 1 hour talk with my dad, and he helped my decision. How often do you get help from others?
Well, honestly, not very often, like once a month. But when I have to make an important decision, I do ask my parents or friends for their input. Nowadays, I'm deciding where to do my master's. So I had a 1 hour talk with my dad, and he helped me make my decision.
Nice. So that would be your band 9 answer. Notice those quantitative elements, okay? So once a month, 1 hour talk. Quantifying really helps us. That's why we have it. That's why humans came up with the concept of math and numbers. I think if we wouldn't have math, if we wouldn't have numbers in our communication, we would probably still be living in caves and hitting each other on the head with sticks.
Yes, it's true.
So numbers in communication. All right. Any questions about the IELTS speaking?
No, it's okay. I want to thank you because I have improved a lot my speaking skills. Thanks your video.
That's awesome, Sabrina. Thanks for that feedback. And if you do have questions, you can always send us an email. And Sabrina, if you feel like I want to do full speaking interview practice before my exam, you can click this yellow button.
Maybe I have my exam on the 11th, so on Saturday. Yes,
getting close. So for you and for all of our viewers out there, if you feel like I want to do a full speaking practice, you should try to do it at least a couple of weeks before your exam. Okay, so it's never too late, but up to you, Sabrina. You decide. I think you'll do fine, by the way. I think you will get that 7.5. Okay,
thank you.
Bye, Sabrina.
Bye. Have a nice day.
You too. Bye. All right, that was Sabrina. And like I say, I'm sure she'll get at least that 7 on her speaking. Okay, let's take somebody else. Let's see who's at the bottom of our list today. We have Mahdia Manzoor at the bottom. Let's see if Mahdia is still with us. Mahdia says, I want to volunteer. Okay, Mahdia, are you ready? Hopefully we can get Mahdia on the line, and I'm picking people from different parts of the list so that everybody has a fair chance to be a volunteer, and I just kind of randomize it because when people join the chat, you join at different parts of the chat here. So So whether you're first or last or in the middle, you never know. It's like I'm shooting in the dark, as we say in English. I'm shooting in the dark. You never know where that cursor will land. Okay, Mahdia is there. Mahdia says yes. Students, just a quick reminder, please make sure that you're not driving or not doing anything where it could be dangerous to be using this function while speaking. Okay, let's reach out to Mahdia.
And if you do have questions, you can always send us an email.
Hi, Mahdia.
Sabrina, I want to do full speaking interview practice before my exam.
Mahdia, how are you?
Yes, I'm fine, Master.
Hi, Mahdia. Mahdia, can you mute YouTube? So just click the mute button on YouTube so that we're not hearing YouTube.
All of our viewers out there, if you feel like, I want to do
I think we've got a fair bit of lag.
practice, at least a couple of weeks.
Mahdia, can you hear me okay?
Exam, okay?
Yes, I can hear you. Sorry,
Okay.
I mean, actually, my video is also going on.
Yeah, can you just mute the video? So just click the
Yeah,
audio
I just did it.
Okay, and then it'll stop. Okay, perfect.
Yes.
All right. Okay, Mahdia. All right, Mahdia, where are you on our wonderful planet this day?
So, I am from Kanyar. It is in Srinagar and the state Jammu and Kashmir of India.
Kashmir, India, northern India. Beautiful. Okay,
Yes.
Mahdia, so wonderful. We're moving way back east. So we've gone from Turkey to Italy and now we're in India. Mahdia, why are you taking the IELTS exam?
So, I am wanting to have my admission in the Dream University in Turkey, ITU, and it requires IELTS 6.5. So, yes, that's why I'm going for it.
Okay, I had to smile because we had Arda in the beginning. Arda wants to go to Italy. Then we had Sabrina from Italy. Now we have Mahdia who wants to go from India to Turkey. So it's like
yeah.
you guys are playing what's called hopscotch or leapfrog, where you're kind of jumping over to each other's countries. So leapfrog. It's a game of university leapfrog. Okay, all right, interesting. Okay, Mahdia, I will help you with this. And when is your exam?
It's on 25th of June.
Okay. Arda says, I didn't want to go to Italy. I know, Arda, you didn't say Italy. Correction. I'm watching Arda here in the chat too. Arda, I believe you said Europe, but Italy is in Europe, so I didn't specify. Okay. So in June, so you've got about 3 weeks. That's a pretty good amount of time, Mahdia. It's a pretty good amount of
Yes.
time. Well, let me help you a little bit. So we'll go through these questions one more time and focus on nice, confident answers. And I'm sure you've now realized from your two predecessors that it is a good idea to include numbers into your answers, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so welcome to the speaking section of the IELTS exam. My name is Adrian. I will be your examiner for this part of the test. May I see your identification?
Sure, this is my passport, and I have got this back in 2016, and I went to Pakistan for my bachelor's in information technology. So please have a look.
What is your full name?
My name is Mahdia Manzoor, but people find it difficult to remember Mahdia. So you can call me Mahdia or Dia.
Okay, Dia. The speaking has 3 parts. I will give you instructions for each. For part 1, I will ask you a couple of questions to get to know you better and some questions on a general topic. What did you do this morning?
I simply wake up for my Fajr prayer, which we Muslims have to pray at about 4. And then I went for cycling at about 5 to 6. I came back and I took tea. And then after I went to have my preparation for IELTS, and then I started watching the videos.
What do you plan to do on the weekend?
So on the weekend, it's like I'm preparing for my IELTS examination because I'm going. Sorry, Adrian, I'm being in present right now. I mean, I'm just talking reality. and not like, according to the questions. So I'm gonna go on that. So on this weekend, I have to prepare for my reading and for my writing sessions. So I'm gonna do that. And on Sunday, I may go to and visit my aunt and have a tea, and I may also visit my cousins and have my ice cream with them. Not really confident.
Let's talk about helping people. How often
Yes.
do you get help from others?
I do get help from others every day. Today, I got help from Amrit, who actually have really gave me a good feedback about my session with him on IELTS. And then I even am getting help from you too this time. So yes, I do often get help from people.
What do you usually need help with?
I am pretty much being, I just want help when I'm being not 100% confident about anything. So I do need help in that. So then, yes, for example, I am a IT student and I need help sometimes in my programming of Python, like solving the problems. So yes, I do want help in these. I'm
If you need assistance during work or school, who do you ask for help?
sorry,
If you
I
need
didn't hear you.
assistance during work or school, who do you ask for help?
Yes, firstly, I would like to solve the problem or whatever I need help in. I'll give my 100% in that. And if I feel that I am not able to solve this, then I may go to someone and ask them for help. So yes, this is.
Have you helped someone recently?
Yeah, I do have help recently. I mean, just before this class, I was talking to Amrit and giving him feedbacks on his answers regarding so many questions. So yes, I just help him.
All right. Let me give you some feedback. That wasn't as bad as you think. Don't be self-critical, especially not in real time, okay? So if you will criticize yourself, Dia, don't do it at the time when you're actually speaking, and definitely don't do it in your real exam, okay? So when you're there, you
Yes.
have to be 100%, even if you make a mistake, okay? So never self-criticize, especially because often it's wrong. So oftentimes candidates will be like, oh, I just made a mistake. Oh no, no, no. And then it becomes strange and confusing for the examiner, especially since in many cases, the person is not really making a mistake. So it's really strange to go like, oh, I just made a mistake when you didn't actually make a mistake. Okay, so your speaking is quite good. Your English is quite good. Don't be so self-critical. Okay, that's my first tip. All right. Is that clear, Dia?
Adrian, can I just add something?
Yes, you can.
Please? You know what happens actually? I'm very good in English and very fluent actually. And I don't know what happens to me when I see some person who is a very great speaker of English. I kind of become so, I mean, I lose my confidence,
Yeah.
and I'm not able to deliver whatever I just want to. But the other person, if I feel that he is not good in English, then I just speak so well. And, I don't know, like, what person actually comes in me, and I'm like, this, and this, and I'm like so fluent,
Yeah.
so with a
So
beautiful accent.
so my
I
my
just
tip
don't know
there
how to do
is,
this.
yeah, I get you. I do get you. I mean, a lot of people are competitive by nature, and when we feel like we're against difficult competition, you're not competing against your examiner. Okay, that's the first tip. All right, your examiner is there to do a job, and their English might not actually be better than yours. They're just reading a script. Okay, so they have an advantage. Keep that in mind. They're reading a script. Okay, so focus on yourself. Just Focus on yourself, be yourself. If it helps you, then visualize that, you're talking to somebody who doesn't have as good English. So if you have a cousin that you help with their English, visualize that the examiner is that person. So trick your mind into confidence, okay? All right?
Yes, sir.
So, and English is very subjective, okay? So there are lots of different people around the world with many different accents, and it's very subjective to say who is better and who is not. So just be yourself and focus on strategy, okay? Keep yourself focusing on strategy. Answer, explanation, example, okay? All right, so your band score would be about a band 6.5 with those responses, but you definitely should be getting closer to a 7.5. So you should be focusing on getting a 7.5, but this was probably closer, excuse me, to a 6.5. When I asked you what did you do this morning, you said, I simply wake up for my prayer. That's where you made a grammar mistake that immediately caught my attention. So I simply woke up. Okay, remember what I said about that past tense, right? You can't make mistakes with simple past, simple present. So I simply woke up for prayer. Then I went from cycling from 5 to 6. So you used some quantification. That was good. And then you said, then I went to have. That was really good. So grammar is quite important for coherence. And even with a lot of really great vocabulary and fluency, if you make grammatical mistakes, like mistakes with the simple past, those will hurt your score. Okay, especially so examiners are especially strict with simple grammar mistakes like wake versus woke. Okay.
Yeah.
And you made another grammar mistake. So use the grammar of questions, and not only you, but Sabrina also made this mistake. I'm not sure if Sabrina's still watching. Both of you made this mistake with this question when I asked you. Where is it? It's coming here. So I asked you this question: have you helped someone recently? Okay, what's the grammar of that question, Dia?
I mean, it's like past, something in past, or no? It may be.
No, not
Wait a
right.
sec.
Have you helped?
Help.
Have
No, it's something present. I guess I don't know.
present perfect, right?
Okay, you're being like, okay, I got it. I mean, you just want specific answer. Yeah, present
So
perfect.
this question is present perfect. Have you helped someone recently? Immediately use the present perfect. You said, yes, I do help recently, which is awkward grammar. And Sabrina used a simple past. She said, yes, I helped one of my close friends, Alicia. But the better answer in this case would be, yes, I have helped my friend just in the past few days.
Yes.
As I said, I've been, and here I'm contracting it now, I've been studying. So notice I'm using present perfect progressive right now. As I said, I've been studying for the IELTS with, what was your friend's name?
Mine? You can guess. Amrit. You know him, Amrit.
Amred, okay.
Yeah.
So as I said, I've been studying for IELTS with Amred, and I have reviewed several of his task 1 and task 2 assignments. So notice that use of present perfect, because I'm showing the examiner that, I get you. You asked me a question in present perfect, and I can use present perfect. So I have that grammar range and that coherence, okay? So just repeat after me. Have you helped someone recently? Yes, I have helped my friend just in the past few days. As I said, I've been studying for the IELTS with Amred, and I have reviewed several of her task 1 and task 2 assignments. Have you helped someone recently?
Yes, I have helped my friend just in the past few days. As I said, I have been studying for the IELTS with my friend Amrit. And I can only read only this thing on my screen. I mean, I don't know why.
And I have reviewed
And
several.
I have reviewed several of his tasks.
Okay. Amrit is a he or a she? He.
Oh, assignments. Now I get every line. Oh, can I just read
One
it
more
again?
time? Sure. Have you helped someone recently?
Yes, I have helped my friend just in the past few days. As I said, I've been studying for the IELTS with Amrit, and I have reviewed several of his tasks 1 and task 2 assignments.
Okay, much better. So present perfect, okay? And stay on topic. When I said, can you show me your identification? You gave me some strange information about doing your bachelor's and things. Don't do that, okay? The examiner is going to
Okay.
freak out. So you have to be direct. Yes, here's my identification that I used to register for the test a couple of weeks ago. Please take a look. That's it. Don't tell me about your bachelor's or that you renewed your passport or used it in Pakistan or something. So don't give me weird information, okay? Just direct
But many
answers.
people, I'm really sorry. Many people are adding like I have registered for this passport like last week or something. But I have registered for it for like 2016,
No,
2016.
no,
So I don't know how
don't add that. I don't want to know when you renewed your passport. I just want to see your passport, okay?
Okay.
So
Okay.
don't add strange information like that. That's way overkill.
Fine.
You have to stay on topic, okay?
Yes.
All right, so on topic, stick to strategy. You have good English. Don't worry about the examiner's English, okay?
Yes.
All right. Keep up the good studies, okay? Keep up the good studies. Mahdia, if you want, then make sure to book a speaking interview practice with me at least, 10 days before your test, okay? It's up to you, all right?
So, yes, sir. So I just want to add one thing. I mean, I have just given this interview without any, I have not, I don't know about speaking and anything. I just gave it like this, without knowing anything. So, do you want me to follow these videos of speaking part 1 and part 2,
Oh,
whatever you have
absolutely.
done?
Yeah, absolutely.
Or,
Yeah. I
Okay.
highly recommend coming back to the live classes and going through several of the speaking videos on the YouTube channel and on the website. Absolutely. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Then
Okay.
I may book an interview with you. Thank
Yeah,
you very much,
completely
sir.
up to you. You're very welcome, Mahdia. Have an awesome rest of your night.
Thank you, sir. Thank you
Okay.
very much.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, that was Mahdia. Give her a thumbs up. I forgot to say this, but always support each other, okay? She did a fantastic job, and I just realized I've totally gone over time, which is okay, because I've really had a fun time with everybody here today. Students, for lots of help with your IELTS exam, aehelp.com for academic IELTS, gieltshelp.com for general IELTS. Use the discount code HELP20 for that 20% discount, okay? That will not work for the speaking or the writing. There are no discounts for those services, but for the premium IELTS package, it will work, and you will get access to all of our videos, practice exams, interactive courses. Definitely a good starting point. Thank you so much, Carolina, for moderating. Thank you, students, for being here with me today. Thank you to our lovely volunteers today. Everybody did a fantastic job, okay? Confidence, quantification, those are some key points from today's lesson. I hope that everybody has a wicked rest of the day with lots of fun, lots of learning. I'm Adrian. I'm signing out from beautiful Victoria here on the west coast of Canada. Bye for now, everybody. Much love to you all.